So in the 6 steps, we work a lot on nutrition and gut health. Diet, so people ask, what is the best diet? It's like, well, it probably depends on the person, but in general, I think we all agree that keeping your glycemic or carb load low is a good idea. We talk about the ketogenic diet and brain health. That is something that's now being shown, ketogenic in cancer patients, and now some research looking into that. So I think that when people keep the carbs low and they support with healthy fats, moderate amount of healthy protein, and a lot of vegetables, more than fruits, people tend to do a lot better. That is a much, much better overall diet for most of us sitting in this room. We also want to promote a healthy gut bacteria. The bacteria communicate with everything, and they basically control everything. You wonder if we control them or do they control us? It's very interesting. So the notion of using nutrition as the mechanism of influencing your bacteriology in your gut is key. The notion of using fiber or prebiotics to feed the healthy biotics can be quite important. Sometimes using probiotics, whether they be from food or from just supplements, can be very valuable for patients. And of course, some gut repair nutrients, things that help repair the gut that may be a little bit injured or not really doing its job in communicating information. And then the hormesis part of what we talk about, the stressor part of what we do, would be, from a food perspective, is intermittent fasting and mild caloric restriction. And I think Sarah will be talking more about that in a minute. And then the other thing we talk about are some of the nutritional and herbal supplements. And we obviously have the essential nutrients. Those are things that typically we can't make, so we have to get them from the outside. That's your multivitamin and mineral. People argue, do I need a multivitamin and mineral? It's probably personal, depends on the situation. But I think if it's a high quality, well-balanced one, it's probably of some value. Conditional nutrients is the next category. Those are things that tend to be made at somewhat of a level in our body, but under certain situations we can deplete them. We're not able to make them very, very well. And when we're older and we have chronic disease, it can be a problem for us. And those are things like coenzyme Q10, which many of you have heard about, or things like lipoic acid and many others. Those are nutrients that are made, but they can be depleted. And if you deplete these conditional nutrients, you really can run amok with regards to your mitochondria. And then the really interesting research now is coming on these natural hormetic agents. Are there substances that can mimic exercise? Are there substances that can mimic, intermittent fasting? The answer is there are. They don't replace it, but biochemically they do some of the same things. They trick your body into believing it's a small stressor, so your body creates a great response. So resveratrol, you may have heard of that in red wine. Turmeric, curcumin, green tea extract, carnitine, herbal adaptogens. And there's 2 really interesting ones that are getting a lot of popularity now. Is one called PQQ. Most people probably haven't heard of that one. And the other one is NAD riboside. They're now showing that they can actually help build mitochondria. And PQQ has been studied for brain cognition, and they found that people who got on PQQ, especially if they took some CoQ10, had much better cognition than those who did not. And the thought is that it enhances mitochondrial growth. What about exercise? How many of you exercise regularly here? Oh, look at that. Good job. So we have 3 different forms of exercise. We have cardiovascular training, which is important. We have resistance training, which is weight training. And we have flexibility, agility training. Long story short, they're all very important, but there are probably some forms of exercise that might be a little bit more cost-effective and time-effective than others. So like high-intensity interval training, which I think Sarah might be talking about that a little bit. If not, that's okay. But high-intensity interval training is doing really fast for a short period of time, and then recovering, and then doing fast for a short period of time. That is quick and dirty, and gets great outcomes when it comes to body composition, weight management, blood sugar regulation. That seems to be the way to go for people who can do it. And the other thing is weight training. Most people always forget to do weight training. They think it's something that's not important, but it's really, really important for so many different areas. And then, of course, flexibility. Why is fitness so important? Well, we know fitness is important for cardiovascular benefit and bone benefit and muscle, but we forget that if you do the right thing in the right amount, it's actually the best stimulant for brain growth. You may have heard that Parkinson's disease patients and Alzheimer's patients, the best treatment we have is exercise because it increases brain-derived growth factor. And when you do that, then your brain grows. There was a study looking at those individuals who had cognitive issues, those who had the highest fitness level, fitness level had less brain atrophy, brain shrinkage. So we think that intensity matters, not just I'm going to walk for hours. That's great, but to get the outcomes you're looking for, your brain needs to see intensity. And of course, emotions are key. Meditation, relaxation, again, the social concept of communication, gratitude, giving, and purpose. Because we know that stress has a lot of impact on our physiology. Typically, if it's a lot of stress, it's negative. But if it's a good amount of stress, it's actually productive. So finding that happy medium, being able to sort of know how to chill down when you need to. And then, of course, the big thing is sleep quality. Most of us don't really have good quality sleep. So it's really important to make sure that we get 7 to 8 hours of high quality restorative sleep. And how do you figure? Well, if I wake up in the morning and I just feel like a truck hit me, then probably that's not good quality sleep. Even if I sleep 9 hours, there's something wrong. I'm not getting my deep sleep. Maybe I'm kicking, I'm jerking, I'm snoring, I'm doing whatever. All those things need to be addressed. Because if you don't get good sleep, you get more chronic disease, more hypertension, more weight issues, more everything. Again, all this stuff increases inflammation. Environmental toxins are key. We mentioned living in an ag town. So if an individual, so we feel they're highly exposed to pesticide, herbicides, plastics, heavy metals, whatever it may be, if they're heavily exposed, we may want to think about providing what we call detoxification therapies. Typically, that might mean liver support nutrients, bowel cleanses, of course, elimination diet, far infrared sauna, which my wife and I have one at home, and a heavy metal detoxification as well. So I think those are things that can be beneficial in the right population. And then lastly, hormonal health is really key. People always ask about, well, hormones are safe. If you do it right, they're safe. If you do it wrong and you choose the wrong one, they're probably not safe like anything else. So trying to make sure that people have optimal hormonal levels for their age is good. Some people require replacement, some people don't. That you'll get a lot of opinions on. But making sure that hormones are attended to is probably wise.